Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. The past week was about wins and rotations, but let's hope the other constant of the week, keeping the zero, is back for good as Rangers travel to Dortmund to battle in the Europa League. I am your host Scott Carney as always, and joining me is a full house again. Ali Pearson, how are you?
Not too bad. You were better than yourself, but aye, not too bad.
Thanks, mate. Yes, I'll get it out there, everyone. I've done my back in. I am not young. I am not fit, and I need to stop pretending that I am.
You're the youngest one on this pod as well.
If you hear any weird squeaking noises or any crazy faces that I might be pulling if you're watching this podcast, it's because my back's in a bit of a spasm. So, but I'm battling on. I'm trying not to move too much. Anyway, enough of my knackered back. Scotia, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's I can't wait for the game on Thursday, but it's just a bit strange because obviously we played on Saturday. This is the longest wait in a wee while we've had between games, so I'm getting a wee bit itchy for it.
I was thinking the same actually. I was thinking it's quite a big gap we've got between doing pods because like Saturday and then Tuesday and then Thursday again. It's not usually like that. But yeah, I can't wait for Thursday now. It really can't come quick enough. And last but by no means least, Ryan Hamash, how are you, mate?
I'm good, boys. Very good. Concerned about you using your excuse with your back there. That's the kind of thing you should wait till the wee one's born before you use that excuse, Carney. If you want to bail out any kind of.
I shouldn't even have told you. I shouldn't have told you. I just said, no, I'm fine, really. I'm absolutely fine. No, I know, mate. It's a terrible excuse. And yeah, it's one of those ones where but back pain is one of those ones that people kind of go, he's got a sore back. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an easy one to say, but honestly, it's particularly sore. It really is. But anyway, I'm not going to make excuses. I'm sitting here and I'm doing a pod. As I say, when I'm sitting down, it's not too bad. So I know it's there, but as long as I don't move too much, I should be okay. So before we get into it, Ali, do you want to tell people what Club at 22 are involved in this coming weekend?
Yeah, we've been invited up to cover the Lee Rugby game. So it's the Lee Rugby Football Club against the Bars for Bears Legends up at Tory Glen Football Centre. It's indoors, Scotia, so it's not outdoors, so don't worry. It's indoors. I spoke to Susie, who organises it. They've sold 400 tickets already, which is quite good. In fact, quite good, it's very good. It's £6 a ticket for adults and £3 for kids as well. There's still tickets available. So it should be a good event. Few club legends going up there. Gordon Smith's going to be there. Marvin Andrews, John McDonald, Andy Little, Charlie Miller, and Alec Ray's going to be there in terms of the Rangers legends. So it should be a good one. I know you covered one back in the summer, Carney. So you've said it's me and Scotia going up, so it's the B team going up. But yeah, it should be good. To be fair, to get a few interviews with the players and that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff as well for everyone, in case you want to go. And I'm looking forward to it. I think Scotia is too.
Yeah, I think it's a good cause that they're doing it for, and it's a good chance to meet some ex-Rangers players. There's no doubt about it. As I say, we covered one before. It was a really good day. The weather kind of ruined it towards the end. The kind of heavens opened towards the end, which wasn't ideal, but it was a good chance to get to speak to some of the ex-pros who were all rather nice, all really good with us when we were doing interviews with them. So yeah, I mean, my filmmaking's not great, mate, so you're not need to live up to it that much. I'm obviously working. If not working, I'll be in my bed with this back, but yeah, you should enjoy it. So if you can, go down to that. Also, just quickly before we do get into Ranger stuff, there's only 2 weeks left of our charity raffle. We're running a charity for a raffle to win a tour for 4 people of Ibrox, with all proceeds going to the Rangers Charity Foundation. To enter, please click on the PayPal link below, and it's £3 per entry. Once you do that, I will assign you a number. I can send you a message through PayPal, and you will get your number. As I say, if we get to £100, the podcast is going to match it, and we'll give £200 to the Rangers Charity Foundation. So it will run until midnight on the 28th of February, and the winner will be picked on the 1st or 2nd of March whenever I get a chance to get round to doing it. Any questions, just email me at at .22.podcast@gmail.com. Right, gentlemen, let's move in to Rangers stuff. We'll start with a very comfortable win over Annan on Saturday. Goals from Hollander, Roof, and that man from Zambia secure our place in the quarter-finals, which will be away to Dundee, with the ties set to be played on the weekend of the 12th of March. Rangers or Celtic, if we're still in Europe, will more than likely play on the Monday night because they were drawn away to Dundee United as well. But before we get into that game, Ali, your thoughts on the game? I know it's a hard one to really look into, but your thoughts on the return of Hollander and the debut for Zukowski and Charlie McCann making an appearance as well. So your overall thoughts on the game, mate?
I thought it was one of the games, to be honest. Me and Scotia watched it in the pub, but it was... first half was decent. The heavens opened up for the second half, which wasn't great. Petered out the second half, to be honest. But
no, they didn't. It rained the other way around there.
What?
How much did you have to drink Saturday? It rained the whole of the first half and didn't rain in the second half.
Did it? All right. Either or. Doesn't matter. But it was... that just shows how interesting the game was, to be honest. It wasn't great, to be honest, but... Nah, the positives from it was obviously we're through to the next round. Hollander looked good, to be honest. I thought he looked decent, Hollander. The boy right back, Zukowski, he looked all right. To be fair, you can't really judge him on that park and stuff, and it's his first game against... And that team will never play together again, that 11 we put out in the park. So I think it was what it was, to be honest. It was routine, probably that's the word to use for it, and a couple of young lads come on. Lowry, I thought, when he came on, showed what he's all about. I thought he wanted the ball. He wanted to show what he's about. I know you guys covered him, and I'll bring him up. Scott Wright, once again, for me, had a start. Flattered to deceive once again. He showed me nothing again. And I don't know what we do with Scott. I said to Scotia in the pub at the weekend, I says, kind of shows that he's an impact. We've said for quite a while now, he's an impact player. Bring him on last 20 minutes of games when teams are blowing. But once again, he's been given a start. And to me, I don't know if it was Ryan or if it might be yourself, Karen, that said Lowry is picked above Scott Wright now. And I agree. I thought Lowry showed more in his wee 15-minute cameo, wherever it was, than Wright did the whole game, to be honest. I was really disappointed in Scott Wright, to be honest, and it's not the first time I've said it.
No. Scotia, this is why I shouldn't go to Ali first, because he decides to roll every question that I'm about to ask into one and just say everything that he can possibly can. Asked him about 3 players and he went on to speak about another 2. I'm like, it's not really how a podcast works, Ali.
One extra.
Scotia, Ali is right, though, about Scott Wright, ironically, that he's not taking his chances. And Cedric Gatton, when he came on, he looked too desperate to try and make an impact. And yes, there was positives within the game. A lot of players did take their opportunity and perform quite well. I think Ali might have been not harsh, but maybe not as much full of praise as it was for me and Ryan with Zukowski. I thought he was rather impressive.
Yeah, he came in and he looked like he's going to be a decent option for cover. It's a difficult game to judge because it's an 11 flung together that are never, as Ali says, they're not going to play again together. They've probably only, I don't even know if they've even played together in the same team in training as such. But it flung together, you're not going to see that again. The weather conditions in the first half were atrocious. So it's against Annan. We won the game within 30 minutes, so it's difficult to judge. But he did look impressive, put a good few crosses in. I think he whipped in a cross where Sakala should have buried it, and he at least brought about 4 or 5 yards out and balloons it over the keeper. No, he done well. Quite impressed with him. So he looks like a decent option for cover, because I had that concern once Patterson left. There isn't really anyone sort of in the B team that I think's ready to make the step up to be the cover for the right back position. So it was good to get him in. Yeah, looks positive going forward for him, at least as that option, should anything happen to Tav.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was rather impressive. What did you make of Ramsey's? Scotia, I'll stick with you. Sorry, Ryan, I will come to you, mate. It's just we obviously did the post-match, mate. What did you make of Ramsey for the 60 minutes that he had?
Yeah, I thought it was fairly decent. It was showing some some good touches. Again, like I was saying about Sikowski there, it's difficult to judge because it's against Annan and whatnot. He did still maybe look a wee bit off the pace, but that's 60 minutes to get up to speed again. And the touches that he did put together, I was fairly impressed with. He was linking up quite well with the front players. Very unlucky with his goal that got chalked off. He was just marginally offside. But no, he looked impressive, and it's 60 minutes in the legs to kind of get him up to where we need to, because obviously I don't want to go straight into it, but I doubt he'll feature from the start on Thursday evening. But at least this puts him in good stead for the league games.
Yeah, it does. I still stand by it. I'm awfully concerned with how tired they looked after 60 minutes, but I would be knackered after about 10 minutes, and considering I can't lift a roll of plastic film to do something and work without doing my back, it's probably a bit of a cheek for me to be criticising a professional football player for running about in naked sort of conditions for an hour. Ryan, obviously we did the post-match, obviously quite a brief one. It wasn't too much to take from the game. Has your opinion changed on the game at all? I think there was a wee bit of a mixed reaction, even in some of our comments that we've seen on the video, that some people were a wee bit disappointed that it wasn't more. Other people were more than happy with the win, and the game was won really early on. So your opinion changed?
Nah, it's not changed. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say to you I've watched the game back, because I will never do that. But I put a few comments down on YouTube because there's a couple of fans disgruntled about just they didn't think the level of performance was there, etc. But there was one guy, I can't remember your name, mate, sorry, but he'd said he thought Gio maybe didn't take it seriously. And I said, I don't agree with that, because I think you've got to look at this week. I think Van Bronckhorst clearly had this week in mind with the Dortmund game on Sunday for me, which I think Sunday's bigger than Thursday. It was too big a week, and it was a great opportunity for us to get people like Ramsey and Hollander and get Roof playing and Sikowski, get players like that playing. So I don't think that Gio hasn't taken this seriously on Saturday night. I think that we just fielded a team we knew could do the job, and that's exactly what they did. I think we're probably just a bit disappointed in the second half, because when we scored the third goal, it was threatening to be a rout. I was thinking we're going to score 6 or 7 here today, and we just petered out. It ended up a professional performance, and but apart from that, I can't even remember what the weather was like in the second half, Ali. But cheers for the update on that. I can't remember. But yeah, it was a professional performance.
Yeah, Ali clearly wasn't looking at the telly. Though it was, mate. And look, I don't think you can say that Gio wasn't taking this seriously. Our results, our cup campaigns for the past 10 years, however long since it's been since we won a cup, is nowhere near good enough. It really isn't. We have to do more. So this has to be taken seriously. I am almost positive that the board have made it quite clear to Gio that obviously the cup is a priority. There is a lot of argument to say that we should arguably have won a treble last year, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but based on the competition last season and the way we were playing last season, it's probably a missed opportunity. So obviously we've had a disaster this year with the League Cup, with the absolutely shambolic performance at Hampden against Hibs that we would all rather never think about ever again. So this has to be a priority. The league is always number one, yes, but it is very important that Rangers start winning domestic cups again. Don't think there's any great doubt about it. Ryan, I'll come back to you, mate. Dundee away in the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup. The only way it could have been better if it was Ibrox, surely.
Yeah, I'd have been a wee bit more excited if Lee Griffiths was playing for Dundee, but I've heard he's away to play with the Bairns again. So it's just a tie I'm expecting Rangers to get through comfortably. I don't think Dundee poses any threats, and I do think Dundee are favourites to go down this season. They've been really poor. It's not a game we just need to turn up, but I just don't see us having any issues playing them. I think we should get through convincingly, but as Ali said, it's not going to be that team we saw against Annan. We're going to have a far stronger starting 11 playing against Dundee that day. But yeah, I don't see us having any problems with going through to the semis.
Yeah, Ali, it is pretty crucial though that we at least make the final this year?
No, we've got to. I mean, if you had to cherry pick out all the teams to play, Dundee was probably the team you would pick out of it, to be honest. I watched Dundee last night against Peterhead. 3-0 flatter Dundee last night. Peterhead had a stonewall penalty last. How they didn't get it's beyond me, by the way, honestly. The standard, we're going about the standard of referee in Scottish football, but if you have a chance to look back at the penalty that they should have had just before half-time, it's scandalous, man. It really is. But no, they were very unlucky, Peterhead, and Dundee really... we should go up there and beat Dundee. I know we play them the following week in the league as well, at Dens again. So, yeah, we should have enough to beat Dundee and go to the semis and hopefully meet whoever it is at Hampden.
Yeah, hopefully. I would like to think so, but I do think, Scotia, do you think as well, it's easy to kind of be blindsided by we're so desperate for the league this year. As a Celtic, it's quite clearly a 2-horse race, and we've got the UEFA carrot hanging at the end of the season for us to win the league, to get into straight into the Champions League, or almost certainly straight into the Champions League. But winning the league, yes, is going to be a priority, but based on last season, the cup it's up there as being a priority as well.
Yeah, I think, in all honesty, we should all have been aiming for at least a double, perhaps a treble at the start of the season. We really do need a cup, because when's the last time we won the League Cup? I think it was League Cup was the last one we won back in Smith's.
2011.
Yeah, so we really do need to win a cup. But as you say, the league is the priority, and that 30-40 million almost guaranteed money for the winner of the Scottish Premiership is massive. But I think we need the double this season, I think, because the cups haven't been good enough. I mean, on paper, to get through to the semi-finals, on paper, Dundee were the best that we could have drawn in terms of league form. But it's a cup game, so will Dundee be up for it? There's obviously, you'd mentioned at the start there as well about it'll be the last 16 of the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. So, in my heart of hearts, I doubt Rangers will be in that last 16. But if we are, it kind of puts a wee bit more pressure in that quarter-final game that comes up. So we'll just see where we are when that comes.
Yeah, but yeah, Dundee away, lowest ranked team in the competition left. As I say, the only way it could have been better as if it was Ibrox. So, yeah, happy enough with the draw, and one that we should easily be dealing with to get ourselves into the semi-finals. So, speaking of good news, Manscaped promo time, everybody. If you go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUB@22, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. You'll be joining 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. The number one product in the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. It has skin-safe technology so you don't damage the man veg, and it has an LED light in case you want to live life on the edge and shave them in the dark. To complete the trimming of said delicates, finish it off with the crop preserver, ball deodorant, and the crop reviver, the ball toner. That's Scotia's favourite. These formulations will have your balls smelling like a king. Your balls and lady or fella, PC podcast and all that, well, thank you. So go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUB@22. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. Massive thank you again to Manscaped for their continued support. We really do appreciate it. And if you buy their stuff using our code on their website, you'll be supporting this podcast. So thank you to everybody who has done so far. So we'll move on. I just want to touch on a few things that I'm going to try and really tie together. Obviously, it's been 10 years since admin. The Moonhowlers won't let you forget it. But the Valentine's Day always will have a wee bit of a sour connotation attached to it because of what our club went through. Speaking of that, Stewart Robertson was speaking to Sky Sports today, just kind of around his time at Ibrox. Different questions were asked about the state of the current club. So, Ali, I know you've had a chance to see it, mate. I asked this before we started recording. What did you take from Stewart Robertson's interview today? A guy that always comes across quite well. Always likes to see the bright side of the picture, if that makes sense. So, what did you take from the interview today?
thought it was a good interview. I listened to it in the car today when I was working. From when he came in, Rangers was an absolute shambles, pretty much. To where we are now, we're on a level keel. He did say in terms of the Nathan Patterson sale, we should show a profit. We'll show a profit this year for the first time. This Sky reporter kept trying to have a go in terms of Champions League money this year. Do we need it? If we don't get it, are we up shit creek again? And Stewart Robertson basically says, no, we don't budget for that Champions League money. If Rangers budgeted for that Champions League money every year, we would be up shit creek. But he said, no, we haven't. There's enough there. And he obviously went on about the player trading model as well, which we need to do. Referred to every club in the world does this. So we need to continue with that. And Nathan Patterson is the first of what will be many players that will leave Rangers. And obviously we'll bring players in to try and do the exact same in terms of bring them in, develop, and then sell them on again. But yeah, I thought it was quite a positive interview to be honest, in terms of where we've been to where we are now. On a wee side one, STV annoyed me, by the way, just to get that in there. They had a wee news spiel on it because it was 10 years, and I forgot who the reporter's name was, but he kind of referred to us. There we go. Ryan knows him. He kind of referred to us in terms of there's still a team in blue.
Talking about? Of course, Ryan knows him. Ryan's the chief head of the hater supporters club of this man.
Yeah, but I just thought it was quite bitter from STV. I just thought the way it referred to our club in terms of there's a team in blue that still plays there. Another reason why Rangers don't want to talk to these folk, and why people want fan media, i.e. like ourselves, Heart and Hand, all the other guys that are doing it online as well. So I thought that was bad form from STV. I really did think it was, just the wording of it as well. So, but we need to remember, we're going to get this from now until we pop our clogs, because they'll remind us of this every Valentine's Day going forward. So it's just a bitterness towards our football club. But I'm sorry I went off track there. I just had to bring that wee one up there because it annoyed me when I actually listened to that the other night.
I've said to you before, mate, we can always use this podcast as a counselling session. Then you make a very valid point, mate. I'm not going to... You're quite right to call it out. Scotia, Ali is correct. One positive I'll take from STV doing the things that they do, which to me is arguably shooting themselves in the foot, because you're going to piss off the club, so you'll lose a bit of access. I don't really see much benefit in it for them, apart from pleasing fans of another team. But all this does is help fan media outlets, because why would you go and listen to this absolute bias nonsense when you can go to the number of podcasts? I mean, we're a small fish in a big pond. I just don't understand why they would decide to do that.
Yeah, I mean, on us, I wouldn't even really call us fan media as such, because we're really just giving our opinion in the game and our thoughts on Rangers, just like we're having a chat in the pub, you know. But there are guys like Heart and Hand, Four Lads Had a Dream, countless others that, you know, they're at the Mark Dingwall from Follow, they're at the press conferences and things like that, and are providing decent. And although yes, there is a Rangers slant to it, I've never really found anything to be too blue tinted specs for it. So that's where I generally go to get all my news. I'll check some other stuff out on news websites and things like that, and there is a place for mainstream media, but they do seem to just want to push this big divide through and antagonise one set of the supporters while pandering to the others. And it happened in the 90s the exact opposite way around, where they would pander to us and it would be the Celtic fans that would get it. So it's not really anything new, and it's why fan media, it is becoming. And I think what to take out of admin is the way it kind of galvanised the Rangers support. Really, I think everyone, you know, there isn't too much. I think there was perhaps previously there was an awful lot more segmentation in terms of, you know, you had all the different fan groups, Club Deck Loyal, the Blue Order, the Union Bears and things like that. We all seem to be one big family now, and you get that when you go on Twitter. You know, people will disagree with the opinions I've got, I'll disagree with opinions you've got, you'll disagree with other people, but in general it's very small stuff. So I think you can take that out of the admin. That's helped the fan base, I think, in a way.
What? Yeah, 100%, mate. I completely agree with you. I think it really did. Ryan, I'll come to you, mate. Obviously, you can have your say on the STV debacle as well. And everybody, before you comment, Scotia hasn't seen Stewart Robertson yet because he's been very busy today. So he'll get to it later on tonight.
I forgot about it.
And pass his comments.
I had it to look at, and then as I was coming on, it was like, oh bugger, I've not watched that.
It's cool. It's cool. Ryan, you can have your say on the STV thing, but also, what did you take from Stewart Robertson's interview with Sky today?
I thought it was positive. I think I texted in the group chat. I've still got this wee thing with Stewart Robertson because he was a man who was interviewed after Kashinya, and it always sticks in my teeth that interview when he was making out Kashinya was 007. I think that's the words he used, and I'll never forget him saying that. But it was a positive interview, and he spoke well. He was, as Ali said, the Sky Sports guy was trying to get a headline out of my British Champions League money, as if I think he was wanting to say, "Are Rangers basically on their knees if you don't win the league this year?" No, we're not. No, he said there's an infrastructure in place. This board have taken advantage of the situation we were in when they came in, because it was a blank canvas. We were rotten from the bottom to the top, so they had a blank canvas to just get rid of the things that weren't working and put an infrastructure in place. You're seeing the results on the pitch just now, and obviously selling Nathan Patterson takes us to another level. So yeah, I thought it was a good interview. The thing that I just wanted to mention was, and this will be good because I think this will split opinions between the four of us and the Rangers fans as a whole, was the Old Firm allocation. He did say it's not going to change. I understand why it's not going to change, because obviously we've sold tickets in the Broomloan now. But he said it's not going to change for the foreseeable future. I think, in my opinion, and this will, like I said, probably split the support, I prefer when they've got the full Broomloan. I think the atmosphere is phenomenal at an Old Firm game when they've got the full Broomloan. When I'm going into Ibrox and I'm queuing into Ibrox and I can hear them singing, my heart is pumping. The hairs at the back of my neck are standing up. I cannot get in that stadium fast enough to give it plenty to them. And when there's only 900 of them in there, I don't even hear them. The atmosphere's still good, but it doesn't feel like an Old Firm game. And same when you go to their gaff, it's a whole different ball game. It's phenomenal. So I'm disappointed to hear that. I hope that does change in years to come. But yeah, that's what I took from that. But it was a good interview, and Stewart Robertson is a positive figure in our club. Quickly, sorry, I know I've kind of hogged the mic here, Carney. The STV thing, if that's the way they approach for STV, if that's the way they want to go, there's plenty of space next to Chris McLaughlin outside that stadium. They can stand out there if they want. I would keep Rahman and the rest of them outside, and if that's the way they want to play, because if we make the Champions League, STV will have the rights to go for the Wednesday night games, and I know what I would say to STV if that happens.
I couldn't agree more, mate. I couldn't agree more in regards to STV. I won't disagree with what you're saying about the fans. Now, I always try and temper my opinion with this, because I am not an away fan. Obviously I support Rangers when they go away, but I don't go to away games. Work commitments and financial commitments for me, I can't do it. I couldn't get enough time to to do it. So it's a difficult one. It really is. Would I rather more Rangers fans get season tickets? Yes, I would. I would rather we could get as many season tickets as possible, because it's good for the longevity of the club. Do I get it with them being in there? Yes, I've been to many games years ago, mind you, when it was the full Broomloan stand, and we've won, and it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal, but I have been at ones where they have won, and won handsomely during our troubled years, and I did not enjoy it at all. So it's a mixed one. I will firmly sit on the fence with it, mate. I can understand why people are frustrated, because it limits people that are loyal and go to every single game. They struggle to get tickets for it, which again is not really fair. There's going to be guys that have went to games every game for X amount of years that might miss out just because of kind of the tit for tat between the two clubs. But as far as I'm aware, Celtic are happy enough with the way it is just now. Celtic as a board, as a club, maybe not their supporters, but Yeah, I'll firmly sit in the fence. Ali, for you, would you give them a broom loan stand back?
Folk probably hate Karen. Me and you agree with each other quite a lot on this podcast, but I'm one of these. I'm sitting the fence as well. I get both sides of the argument. Similar to you, I still remember going there during the Kashuni years and all that, and them just having a field day and come to Ibrox. Wasn't he nice? I understand it. I really understand it. I would say since we've removed them from the broom loan and put them in a corner, I think it has given us an advantage in the park. I really do, and I think you can see that on the park in terms of the wins we've put together, and i.e. in terms of obviously Celtic played at Parkhead. I know they didn't have any fans in, but you seen it galvanised them as well. They had an advantage, so I think it gives the home team a bigger advantage now, not having that big an away support in each ground. But I see both sides to the argument, so. Like yourself, I'm just going to sit in the fence here.
Join me on the fence, right? Why don't you?
Hey, Scotia, come on, Scotia.
I know, Scotia. You're the kind of the casting vote here, I suppose.
I'm deciding. No, it's, to be honest, I don't see how Rangers themselves can go back in it now because of all the folk that are in there with season tickets. I don't see how they can move them. Someone's going to be disappointed. So in that respect, I don't think it will. But what Ryan says there about the atmosphere and things, it's something that the people that don't support either half of the Old Firm have said to me. It's about the spectacle of the game is kind of missing for a neutral now. So perhaps, would media companies pressure both of them to kind of come to another agreement? That's the only way I could see them doing it. But to be honest, I can't see, now that it's kind of the cork's out the bottle, I don't see how they can put it back in and stop the flow.
Yeah, it would take time. I think it definitely would take time. So I think you'll find, Scotia, you're probably sitting on the fence there and all. It's quite this fence better be strong. This fence better be strong. You'll need to help me up there with my bad back. But no, I get it. I do completely understand it, and it's a difficult one. It really is, to try and find the balancing act between it. As it took a bit of intensity out of the game, possibly. I think there's arguments for it all, but it's still a phrase from Heart and Hand that I heard earlier on. You can't scientifically prove if it's been an improvement or not, but I think there is something about it. And I think there's always going to be people that say, well, we give you behind the goal, they give us a corner. And I can get the argument that it's pretty restricted view, some of it, I think, at Parkhead. So I get that we should aggregate the back of the goal, but it's all to do with safety and segregation, etc., whatever's easier for each stadium. So yeah, I think that's one that's going to run for a long time. But as far as Stewart Robertson's concerned with the interview, I think it's just good. He's always quite reassuring, and I've got no reason not to believe him right now that the club's in a pretty stable position. They've worked wonders to do what they have done. So yeah, credit to him. He's always seems like quite a positive guy, and I thought his comments in regards to even Connor Goldson were pretty interesting. That they've obviously not resigned to the fact that they're losing him, which they are. Let's be honest. If Connor Goldson was staying, in my opinion, if Connor Goldson was staying, he would have signed at the very latest on transfer deadline day for us, and he hasn't. So I would be shocked if he doesn't stay. He might be holding out to see if we win the league this year or not. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I liked his optimism. I like the way that he thinks about it, and I like that the club are fully behind Ross Wilson as well. I don't think that guy could get enough credit for the work that he's done for us. So yeah, all positive. Quickly before we move on to the preview of the Borussia Dortmund game, obviously the interview was obviously released. We've spoke about it because it is 10 years and a day at the time of recording since Craig White plunged our club into the depths of Scottish football. I think it's important at times like this to kind of thank the people that helped us get the club back to where it was. Dave King, Douglas Park, Three Bears, etc. Because they've worked wonders to get this club back to where we are. It was a long 10 years, but here we are sitting doing this podcast, lads, and we are the champions of Scotland right now. A lot of times I didn't think it was ever going to happen. I think we all probably thought at points that it was never ever going to happen. But I think the people that deserve the most plaudits for this are the fans. The way we stuck behind our club, the way we absolutely galvanised with each other to back our club and to never ever to sell out these stadiums left, right, and centre the whole way up the divisions to get us back to where we belong, and we were rewarded for that with our 55th title. So a massive thank you to you guys, to all our listeners, to all our viewers, that everybody that goes to the games, everybody that watches us in the house, anybody that supports Rangers, we made sure that this club got back to where it belongs. As I say, times were hard, and when they were hard, we showed truly why we are and forever will be the people. So I'm proud of being a Rangers fan. I'm sure you guys are proud of being a Rangers fan, and here's to the future. It's a very proud thing to be a part of this extended Rangers family. Gentlemen, anything to add before we move on to the Dortmund game?
No, I think we should just be. I agree with you, Carney. Sorry if I've jumped in there, but I think as time goes on, I'm pretty much over 2012. It was a gutter at the time for all of us. I remember exactly where I was when it was going on the news, and it was horrible because you didn't know where the club was going. You didn't know if the club were going to survive it. And we have, and look where we are now, and it's something I think as time goes on, you'll get prouder and prouder. The way the animals go on about this 14th of February. I mean, everybody's sending Valentines and trying to get their nuts away, and they're going on Twitter and putting all that nonsense down, Sorry, but it's just, they'll do that for so long and it'll peter away. But I think we'll be prouder and prouder every year when you look back at what we've achieved, because Rangers are grown from strength to strength, and that trophy last season is going to be the first of many in the rest of our lives, that's for sure.
That is for sure. So, Ali, Scotia, we all good? Borussia Dortmund?
Yeah, what I'm going to say, just quickly, if I'm being completely honest with myself, 10 years ago to the day, really, my biggest concern was more the fact that we were getting 10 points deducted off us, because I'm quite a bit of an optimist. Obviously, this was a big alarm bell, but it wasn't. At that point, it was just the 10 points deduction because we were quite close in the league. It was the months between now to when we went into liquidation that were really the worst for me, and then that summer was absolutely dreadful. But like you put so eloquently, the Rangers fans got together and we're back where we belong. So credit to everyone in that.
Definitely. So we will move on, and we'll move on to, and what a fitting thing to move on to when we think about the journey we've been on. We are previewing a game against Borussia Dortmund. So we travel to Germany on Thursday evening to take on Dortmund. Kickoff is at 5:45 in case you need to get a wee flyer from work. We've been asking for a glamour tie for some time, Ali, and well, in the last couple of years anyway, in the Europa League. They don't come much bigger than a two-legged tie against Borussia Dortmund.
I think they're a Diddy team. I'm only joking. No, I'm only joking. No, me and you, Carney, were sitting together watching the draw come in, and the two teams we wanted was Barca or Dortmund. That was the two we wanted. And when we got Dortmund, we let a wee cheer out. I think that was actually folk in the showroom at the time, so they must have known what's going on there. But we let a cheer out, and this is we talk about next year in terms of Champions League and the money. This is a Champions League tie. This is the biggest name we've played since we've been back, basically. I know we've played the Portos, Benficas and that, but Dortmund's just that next level. I'm buzzing to watch Rangers on Thursday night, and obviously I hope the tie's alive for when we're at Ibrox with a full house at Ibrox, because the atmosphere will be special at Ibrox. But I know it's a mouth-watering tie. Just to say the words Borussia Dortmund v Glasgow Rangers, it's gives you goosebumps.
Absolutely, Scotia. It's Dortmund's 1,000th game at whatever the stadium's called now. What's it called? You'll know this. It's
the BVB Stadium now.
Yeah, so
it's a rubbish name compared to what was it? The West. I keep on.
The West End. Somebody say it.
My German's not great.
I butcher it when I pronounce it.
Gosh, your German should be good.
Italian. Yeah.
Remember that German newspaper you read?
I can read German, but I can't speak German.
Should I tell that? No, I'll not tell that story, actually. We'll go off on that.
You've told it before in the pod.
Have I told that before? Right, okay, we'll move on then. You'll need to go find it. I don't know what pod it's on, but you'll need to go find it about Scotia and a German newspaper. But yeah, Scotia, going back to that iconic stadium, yellow wall. Obviously, I don't think it's not full capacity over there, are they just now?
10,000, I think.
10,000.
Yeah, so which is a real shame. It really is. But in terms of the tie, as Ali said, it's mouthwatering this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got that way where you either want the glamour tie or the tie that's the easiest to get you through. And if you don't get the easiest tie, you want the glamour tie. And I think getting Dortmund, although you mentioned there about getting Barca as well, we've not played Dortmund in about just over 22 years. I think it was back in 99 we last played them. Mm-hmm. Whereas Barca, we seem to get quite a few occasions in the Champions League every time. So it is something a bit different. It is this big tie. I wish it was a full capacity so that more Bears could get across to goal, but I'm sure all the ones that are going over are going to have an absolute cracking time. And you know, we've played them 8 times and we've only lost once in Europe, so you know, obviously different teams and all that, but it gives you a wee bit of hope, doesn't it, when you see something like that? Yeah, really looking forward to it. And like Ali says, I think the key thing is having something to come back to Ibrox for, so that's a massive game as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Ryan, by reports coming out of Germany, it looks like Haaland has pretty much shot the bed because he doesn't want to get outdone by Alfredo Morelos, but bring them on.
I'm not overly concerned. He's just a poor man's Alfredo Morelos, can't he? Just because he's a big guy with big shoulders, he's nothing on our Alfie. I hope he's playing at Ibrox. I hope he's fit for Ibrox. I'm looking forward to. I want to see him up against the best. If I just rattle a few names off, I have got them in front of me here because I couldn't remember. But they've got Reina, Royce, Bellingham, Witzel, Haaland, Hummels. I mean,
Malin up front as well if Haaland's not playing.
Yep, Guerrero at left back. I mean, they are a Champions League team. It's mouthwatering to think that we'll see these players at Ibrox in a week's time. I'm sure Letai will still be alive. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure Rangers will do his justice over there. I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for years, literally years, as we all have. Through the games, I still in Albion. The amount of times you were at those games sitting there, the standard was horrific in some games. Mm-hmm. The weather, and you were thinking, will we ever reach those heights, winning trophies, playing a big team? Will we ever see a big team like that at Ibrox again? And here they come. A big yellow train right enough, but it's coming, and we're playing them next week. I can't wait. Obviously, we've got this game first on Thursday night, and that's going to be a very tough tie. But they are not. I watch a bit of German football. I'm not going to say we're going over there and win and whatever, but they're not a perfect team. They're not like the Champions League team who are getting to finals and whatever. Borussia Dortmund lost 5-2 to Leverkusen last week. At home, and that shows where they're at. There are holes in that team, and we just need to go face it up and go for it on Thursday. That's all we can do. With nothing to lose. I would be slightly more. This is going to sound a bit unstaunch, but I would be slightly more positive if Gerrard was still our manager, because I always felt as if we'd done ourselves justice in Europe under Gerrard. No matter who we're playing, we always performed. I think Gio's still tweaking, still working out his team, still working out who can play his role. So it will be interesting to see how we set up against Dortmund on Thursday. But it's mouthwatering. I'll be so excited on Thursday.
Same, mate. To be fair, mate, I think Gio, he's cut his teeth in European football, so he's going to get the game. So I think he'll be fully prepared for whatever tactics he thinks is necessary, which I think will be quite interesting to see whether we do see a change to the way that he would approach a Scottish League game, for example, the way he's going to approach this game. Look, it's Borussia Dortmund, man. It's like, wow, it really is good. But I've always said Rangers are never very good at just defending for 90 minutes, so I would like to think we'll try and do something. But you mentioned there, mate, that when I look back as well, so they're sitting second, Dortmund, just now in the league, in the Bundesliga. They're 6 points behind Bayern Munich. Say very mixed form's probably not correct. They are still winning games, but they are conceding goals too. And that Leverkusen one at home, getting beat 5-2, that's a shocker, that one for them. But form is probably irrelevant, Ali, coming into this. Let's be honest, it probably doesn't really matter. It is Borussia Dortmund. It is just an unbelievable glamour type. What Well, I mean, they are conceding goals, so maybe Alfredo Morelos will do what he does best and score a goal in Europe against them.
I think Rangers will be looking at. I know Ryan just mentioned the Leverkusen game. The game before, I know they won it. They won it 3-2, but against Hoffenheim, but they conceded 2 goals in that game as well. So I'd imagine the Rangers management staff are looking at that, going, look, there is holes. We can exploit them. I know their last game, which was actually Union Berlin, which obviously me, Scotia, and yourself, Carney, have actually been to that ground before. We've told the story of it, but they went there and won convincingly 3-0 at the weekend. I watched snippets of it. They looked fairly comfortable, Dortmund, to be fair. But I mean, I don't think we change what we do. I really don't. I think we go and play our own game, and I think we'll keep the tie alive. I'm like Ryan. I really do. I wouldn't want to go there and back to, you could see me with the Walter Smith days when we would go there and we would just park 2 buses and hope for the best to maybe nick a goal somewhere.
I don't think that would work. I just don't think that would work.
I don't think so. And I think, looking back in Gio's time with Feyenoord, I'm sure he played in Europe. Maybe Scotia correct me, but he was playing a team in Europe and he changed his formation from how they played in the league, and it backfired on him. Didn't work. So I fully expect him to go how we've been playing in the league with Rangers.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see no matter what, but I think it's safe to say that we are all very much looking forward to this game. So we'll move on. As I say, we'll move on to the team selection. I think all we want as fans is for this game to still be alive, because the noise of Ibrox, we would be like the 12th man. Football and cliche, I know, a big clang, yes, football and cliche, but we would be like the 12th man. If this tie is, there's an outside chance of Rangers getting something of this game, Ibrox is going to be electric with it when this game kicks off. So that's all we can hope for, really, as Rangers go out there, do us proud, and to keep the tie alive. So we'll go into the teams. I'm going to go first because I've been saying it for God knows how long on this podcast, what my team is going to be, what I expect the team to be. So I'm going to stick to my word. I'm not going to change it. So I expect it to be the team that played against Hearts. Obviously, this is before the press conference. The press conference is tomorrow, so I'm not 100% sure of who's fit and who isn't. But if everybody is, and the only person I'm expecting to be out is Yanis Hadji, then I would say it'll be McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Bassey, Lundstrom, Jack, Arfield, Aribo. No, hang on. What have I done there? No, that's right. What have I done there? Is that right? Aribo, Kenton, Morelos. Aye, that's correct. Sorry, I got myself confused there. Because I didn't name a right winger, I was like, hang on, I've not named a winger. No, that is my team. Arfield, Aribo, Kenton, Morelos. With the only possibility being, I'll cover myself, is he might play Diallo for Arfield, purely based on the boys played European football before. So there is a chance they might play him for a bit of pace. But yeah, I'll go with that, and I'm going for 8-0 to Rangers. Alfredo Morelos is going to score 7 goals. Ali, Scotia, I'll come to you. I've not been back to you, Scotia. You can go next, mate. What's your team? What's your score?
Yeah, it's kind of all caveated in the fact that we've not heard the press conference, and 2 players in particular. But yeah, pretty much identical to you, with the only change, I think he'll play Barisic over Bassey, if I'm being honest. I think that'll be the only change that he'll make. I just think Barisic will play. On all honesty,
That was just Ryan's expression there. Can I say it all?
Yeah,
I hide that very well, did I?
I've got a feeling that Barisic is a player that Gio might quite like, similar to what Hadji was like, and similar to how Arfield I think is getting. That he seems to be one of these players that he'll maybe go to when he's on form, which he kind of picked up obviously against Annan, but he looked a bit better on Saturday there than he has recently. Anyway, yeah, that's my team, and score. I'm going to go, like the guys were saying there about them conceding goals. I've watched a couple of their games at the start of the year, and the commentator in both the games mentioned that they're conceding goals or losing goals, and I'm sure Alberts has come out and said that they're a wee bit, they're not as good, they're not this great unit of a team. So I'm going 2-1 to Borussia Dortmund. Morelos to score for us first, and for the tie to be kept alive coming back to Ibrox.
That's fair enough, mate. Obviously, I'm not going with I'm not going with 8-0. That was a joke. I'm going to say 2 each. I think it will be quite an exciting game. I think both teams might have a bit of a go at certain points in the game, so I will go for 2 each, and Alfredo Morelos to score any time. That's my genuine score. Ali, you can go last for a change. Ryan, do you want to go next?
Yep, I think it's going to be 2 bumper games. I genuinely do. I think they're going to be blockbusters, the 2 of them. I think we'll have a right go at them as well. My team is McGregor, Tav Goldson, Balogun, Bassey, Kamara, Lundstrom, Arfield, Kent, Morelos, and Aribo. And I am going 2 each. Alfie to score first. Aye. It's going to be a blockbuster, and it's going to be one of those games where remember the Benfica game, and you're like, oh, we could have done them. We could have done them. I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen on Thursday.
We'll wait and see. Ali, you want to
go? I like Scotia says it's hard because we don't know if Balogun's fit or whatever, but yeah, McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Balogun. I'm Bassey at left back as well. I'm going to throw one out there. If Balogun isn't available, I'd put Big Phil Hollander in there. I know he's not. I know he only.
He's not in the squad.
No, he's not. Right, well, shove that one there. So no, no. Well, the back line picks itself. If Balogun isn't there, Bassey moves into left centre half and Barisic plays. So yeah, and I'm the same as you, Carney. Jack, Lundstrom, Arfield, Aribo, Kent, and Morelos. And I'm going to go 1 each. And I'm going to go a James Tavernier penalty.
Oof, a James Tavernier penalty. That'll go down well. Look, this is... I generally don't know what to expect. I think Rangers will do us proud. I think they'll go out there and they'll do everything they can to try and keep this tie alive to get it back to Ibrox. But I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait to see the team coming out to play Borussia Dortmund. Honestly, I can't. It's a massive, massive tie for us, and just really good to see us up against teams like this again. It's a shame it's not the Champions League, and Borussia Dortmund will be gutted the fact that they're playing in the Europa League. That I don't think there's any doubt about that, but this has still got something special written all over the top of it. So that'll do us for tonight, gentlemen. Ali, thank you very much, mate.
No problem. I forgot to tell you, Carney, Brandon Barker's got a new club. He's away to Reading at the end of the season, so I
don't care. About that. I could not care less about what Brandon Barker is doing. Not interested. Good luck to him. Goodbye. Scotia, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Thursday can't come quick enough, and hope your back's sorted out for it because you'll be jumping around the room if we score those 2 goals that you're going for.
Maybe it might fix it actually. It might fix it if we do, and I need to do a sharp jump because nothing really seems to be working just now. I'm not looking forward to getting out of this seat once I finish recording this, I'll tell you that for sure. Ryan, thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, mate. Hope your back gets better. And nice one, Ali, for bringing that up about Brandon Barker. I'm going to go and Google, see if we can get tickets for a club at 22 day out down in Reading. If we can go down there and support Brandon.
Because guess who plays for Reading as well? That Ovia Jari. I never used to play for us. That's 2 for the price of 1. There we go.
We need to get ourselves down there, boys. It's a given.
No, I'm not. I've got a bad back, mate. I can't travel that long. Sorry, I won't be able to make it. Look, I can't wait for Thursday. I really can't. Just bring it on now. I really cannot wait for it. So lastly, just before I go, thank you to everybody for listening. You can join the channel if you'd like to support us and help us grow. You'll become a Club at 22 supporter. If you are still a supporter at the end of the season, you could win me a chance of winning a gift voucher for the Rangers store. If you don't want to become a Club at 20 supporter and you still want to support us, you can buy the podcast a coffee. Links for both are below. As always, please like the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel. 2 wee clicks cost nothing to you, but it makes a massive difference to us. And again, as you see, it's running across the bottom of the screen. If you can, please do enter our charity raffle. Help us raise as much as we can for the Rangers Charity Foundation. We will be back on Thursday with a club reaction of some sort after the match. So enjoy the game, enjoy wherever you're watching it from. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and I'll speak to you all next time. Cheers.